everybody. Welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patience. We are a Dota 2 podcast, in case you didn't know that. I'm your host, Lieutenant Commander Cyphus.
No, I was Crusader Cyphus.
No, Lieutenant Commander is my current rank with the Federal Navy. And over there is Pleb Master Roland.
Didn't we just say we were a Dota podcast?
Oh yeah, excuse me. I only say that, Roland, because I think we need to have an episode here, or at least a moment on this episode here, on here. A little bit of therapy and clearing the air, you know, because you hate me when I play Elite Dangerous.
It is like we had a friend that wore prayer beads.
Uh-huh. Yes, we did.
Claimed he was a Buddhist.
Yes, he did. Uh-huh.
Not even a friend. Not even an acquaintance. Matter of fact, somebody I strongly dislike to this day and haven't talked to him in years.
Yeah.
And he wore Catholic prayer beads around his wrist.
Not cat. Well, he had.
What were they?
He claimed he had gotten those from some Buddhist monk somewhere or something, and they were beads. They're supposed to be for meditation.
Anyway, he did it to try and get women.
Yes.
Or.
Well, that was our working theory, is that basically everything about the guy was...
The dude is a poser.
Carefully crafted to attract a certain variety of
He's the type of guy that, would just have those, like,
everybody
the sun isn't real conversations. I put those in a category because I actually had a conversation with somebody once about how the sun isn't real, man. And just, I'm not the type of person to like those type of conversations. I'm the type of person to, like, immediately... become extremely defensive.
Sure. Well, the sun is real, and time it does exist.
Yeah, and then time is just a construct, man.
You're
and it's like, it's a construct, sure. Like, time,
all things are constructs.
Sure, yeah. Whatever. And it's like, what even is natural? It's like, sure, I don't care about this fucking annoying conversation that is super, like, you're trying to be metaphysical with me, and I don't want to be metaphysical with you.
So
that is analogous to how I feel about you playing Elite Dangerous. Is like poser.
Why am I an Elite Dangerous poser or a Dota poser?
No, it has nothing to do with either Elite Dangerous or Dota. It just has to do with, like, you sit down and you fly around in space.
I do. Actually, I dogfight. That's it's so fun.
And I don't know why that bothers me.
Yeah, it's a blast.
It's kind of like, I think it's kind of like, it would bother my dad if he came down and saw that I was playing video games all day and, like, what a waste of time.
Sure.
Like, why aren't you out there doing something productive, like kicking a ball in the yard? Like, that's how I feel whenever I see Cyphus is now logged into Elite Dangerous.
Sure.
Is, why aren't you out there kicking a ball in the yard? Like,
I get hit up on Steam.
You're wasting your time.
I get hit up on Steam frequently. Wivrix was the last one to do it. So the way that Steam works with Elite Dangerous, for those that are out there that may not know, is if I have the launcher open, Steam claims that I'm playing the game, even though the game itself is not loaded.
I don't want to see that even.
Sure, but so it looks like, and I'm in a bad habit. Anybody who has been my friend and seen me play Dota, you guys have shot me invites, and you know that I leave the client open all the fucking time. You do this too. I just leave. It's my computer. I'm going to be the one coming back to it. If I know the odds are I'm going to come back and sit right back down and play Elite or play Dota again, I just leave it logged on.
And I hate that you call it Elite.
Well, okay. Oh boy, we were heading down some weird areas here. But
like, it's Elite Dangerous. Call it its fucking name.
Well,
please.
It's the Elite series. I mean, Elite is what the previous games were called.
It's not Elite.
It is Elite.
Okay.
But anyhow,
it does bother. I don't know. It's literally like. It's like, you've been up all night doing that? Are you, like, it's like a fatherly
most of the time,
instinct
no,
or
I
something.
Haven't.
You know what I mean?
Most of the time, I have not.
It's like, you should be out playing ball in the yard with your friends. You shouldn't be playing that garbage.
Sure.
Is the like, that, I guess, would be the
It's been my favorite thing to go to after a losing match of Dota. If I lose Dota and then I log into Elite, where, like, I do have complete control over how everything goes in Elite. I am the captain of or what? How does that quote go? The captain of this, the captain of my soul.
I don't know how that goes.
Master of my fate, captain of my soul,
dude.
Or master of my soul, captain of my fate.
I don't know.
And 100% I am. So yeah, when I lose in a game of Dota, and rather than get tilted or experience additional stress, I log into Elite and I get to fly my ship around in a solo capacity and decide what's going on. And it's been fun because I've been reconnecting with our buddy Harry, Dalamir. He and I have been having a blast flying through space together. It's fun, and I have been preaching the gospel of Dota while playing it, reminding him constantly that if he were to have put the same amount of time that he put into Elite, into Dota, he'd be a god by now because he's so fucking good at every game that he's ever played.
He's just good at everything he does. He's one of those people that but he isn't one of those, like, usually you hate those people that are just good at everything. Well, I don't hate Harry.
He's exceptionally he's modest about it. He tells no, I'm not that good. You'll get there. You guys
have met him a couple of times. If for anybody who's listened to this show a long time, he goes by Dalamir, but definitely like
a prodigy with a lot of things.
One of the better people I've ever met.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been fun to have a game that I can play with him and go out and wing up and shoot down bad guys with. It's a good game. I don't, I get it. I feel like maybe some of your resentment has to do with the fact that yes, it has taken away my Dota time. To the extent that I don't play games of Dota back to back to back to back like I used to. I still do if I'm on a winning streak, or I still do if. Don't get me wrong. I frequently. It's hard to balance those two games because they both are time-consuming games. If you want to be good at Dota, you got to keep playing Dota. If you want to be good at Elite, you got to keep playing Elite. Or if you want to make money in Elite, you got to keep playing it. When I still get runs of Dota where I log on and I break the rule. Like I try to force myself to follow that rule of, if I lose a game, I'm not going to play Tilted. I'm going to go and fly around in Elite for an hour, and then I'll come back to it. And I still get those runs where I lose a game of Dota, and then I go, nah, I can't stop. I got to go. I got to keep playing. I got to get another match in.
I lose all the time, and I just don't, freak out about it, I guess.
I'm competitive. I want to do well. Yeah, I want to get better. I want to improve.
Think to play Dota, you gotta at least be a little bit competitive. I think we're all competitive. Like, I don't just pop in and like, hey guys, I'm gonna buy a bunch of sticks, and I'm just gonna.
But I would argue that you don't keep playing Dota because you love Dota. I know you do, but I don't think that's the fundamental element of your personality, nor mine, that keeps us playing Dota even after a loss. I think it's that competitive thing. It's that desire to correct a mistake. It's that desire. It's the same thing we always did in poker. You and I had a hard time walking away from a losing game, which is probably part of the reason why neither of us could have ever really been a pro poker player. It's because I'm
too impulsive.
Even though we could study it, sure, we have our own.
I had personality flaws. Like, I know I could never have been a good poker player because I have that giant impulsive behavior that does not.
But we studied that game a lot, like we studied Dota. We got into probability. We got into the rule of 2, the rule of 4. We got into a lot of element.
I knew when
odds.
I was doing things wrong. I'll say that. Like, I was never oblivious to me making a bad decision.
Right.
Yet I still made bad decisions.
Right, and I think everybody does that in just about everything that they do. I know that we do that in Dota. I know that you do that in Dota. I know,
Sorry.
that kind of shit happens.
Excuse me.
But I think the element of your personality that kept you going back was that same thing that kept both of us back at the table when
it was
went
exciting.
Bust on bullet 1.
No, it was just honestly, I look back at poker, and it's not even that I wanted to become rich. It wasn't that any of that. It was the excitement of looking down at a hand and hitting the board and beating somebody in a mental game. Because it was I loved when I could spot the fish and exploit the fish.
The game was on.
When I knew that I was better than somebody. That was always you don't know it. You think you're better than me, but you're not, because I know exactly what you're holding, and I know I have something better. That was my big thing with poker. It was like money wasn't even.
Well, it was getting reads right. It was. Exactly. No, there were elements of that for sure.
It was the competitive nature of poker.
Knowing that guy was drawing to a straight because I gave him the right odds and he called.
And trying to get him off the pot and being like, oh fuck, here we go. Like, I know he's gonna suck out on me because he's a bad poker players beat you because they don't fold and they suck out on you.
Right.
And sucking out is basically just drawing a card, basically statistically improbably winning against you.
Well, Dota reminds me of poker all the fucking time, dude. When I get into games like, and that what you said there precisely, I feel like I see it all the time in Dota. I lose games to people who are not better than me. I see it happen. I see players on my team lose games when to players who I know were not better than them. For a number of reasons. For a draft, which I would equate to the hand you got dealt. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you get a lucky hand, and whether you're bad or good, that hand can win. That hand will still win if you're unwilling to leave.
Yeah, I've had some surprising drafts where it's like, what the fuck? Like, did we really just pull that out? No
you know,
way.
and yeah, on the flip side, yeah, you can have some real shit drafts and be like, I can't believe this draft won.
Like you want to hear my 9-10 off that totally crushed like aces?
Sure.
All right, so I pick Viper first because I no longer care about the integrity of Dota 2. I care about getting 4K. And so I've been playing Viper, and I have a 75% win rate over 12 games, and those 12 games have been my most recent ranked games.
Wow.
I've only lost to Necrophos mid. He's the only person that beats me mid. And it's because Heartstopper. Like, I cannot, because I'm not applying corrosive skin to Heartstopper. He walks up and he heals himself. I get whooped by Necro. He's the only person I've lost to mid. But my 9-10 off was I pick Viper, then we get a Shadow Shaman, then we get a Warlock, then we get a Centaur, and we're waiting on this person named Helaguchi. Helaguchi. This pissed us all off, but we won. Sits there, loses gold, random Crystal Maiden. So we have Crystal Maiden, Warlock, Shadow Shaman, Centaur, Viper against Slark, Kunkka, Ember, Rubik, Windranger. And I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get mech, and we're going to push. Warlock's going to solo off lane. Centaur's our safe lane. Crystal Maiden and Shadow Shaman are going to support him. I get my mech. Warlock gets his 6 around the same time I do. Then we swap Shadow Shaman up there, and Warlock goes down bot. Hold on to your golems, dude. Hold on to your golems. Keep your golems. Shadow Shaman gets 6. Then we just start pushing, and then I buy Necro, a Necro book, and we literally win this game with 3 supports, a Centaur and a Viper. Just off of we all bought Okay, so I had a Necro 3. Warlock had a Necro. I had the mech, of course. Centaur had a pipe. Warlock got a shit ton of gold and had an Aghs refresher. And we just deathballed and pushed these guys out. The game even went 35 minutes and we won. Jesus. So it was like beautiful, dude. It was like I was the composer and was like, follow me. And we were just like taking it was beautiful. Anyway, I busted a good team. I went up against a really good Magic Ember, beat him, and we won the game. Even against a Slark who had BKB and Shadowblade and Echo Saber and Windranger that had everything, and it was honestly like a beautiful game, and we won. So I don't know where I'm going with it, but that was my 10-9 off. That I sucked out on this team.
Right, and those types of things happen in Dota the same way. I guess, just to prove the Dota poker analogy, that I know we make a lot, and I know that they feel like very different games for obvious fucking reasons, I would hope. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think those types of like attitudes and behaviors, and it's so funny because only in Dota have I ever really heard the term tilting applied and mean precisely what it meant in fucking poker. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in poker, when you're tilting, and steaming, poker terms, those terms originated with poker. I don't think a lot of people. I don't think so. I don't think a lot of people realize that those terms like originated with poker. That's why you had full tilt poker. That's why you had, that's why tilt worked its way.
When he's on tilt, you would take advantage of the guy. Like if he just lost a big pot, that's the guy you want to go into a pot with next.
Yeah, because you're going to clean him out next.
Yeah,
he's going to make a bad decision. He's going to make a rash decision.
He's going to look down at 10-9 off and be like, "I'm going to get Jack Queen King," but you're going to have Ace 10 or something like that, and you're going to have a Broadway, and you're going to have a higher straight than him or something like that. Like, yeah.
But so I and it's funny because I see I only brought up that tilt thing because I saw a thread on Reddit somewhere, probably on the Dota 2 Reddit, but somebody asking about like yeah, I keep hearing tilted. What does tilted mean? And they're like, oh, tilted, it basically means this, and they ascribed it to Dota, and I was like, no.
I don't know. I mean, if it definitely originated with poker. I mean, tilting is, it usually, I would say when I would go on tilt is when I would lose when I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
In my mind, I should have won, but I lost.
Well, I think
you can get
tilted for a number of reasons.
Yeah. But that was usually my issue.
But the concept behind tilting just more or less being bad decision making, bad behaviors.
Bad beats is what got me tilted. And that's when I should have picked up and walked away, which is like losing a game in Dota.
Right.
Like, oh man, I was 25-2 and we still lost that game. That's a bad beat. Yeah, that's a bad beat. Going into the next game, you're probably going to feel a little less, I don't know, clear. You're in control.
The last game is impacting this game, and that's not fair. It's not fair to this game. It's not the right way to treat the next game. The current game you were in, every previous game of Dota that you have ever played and lost should have zero impact on your decision making, the behaviors that you try to implement. You should always be coming in with the best behavior, with the best decision making. Absolutely, if you want to win every game, that's how you got to be. Mm-hmm. But we're human. We're all human. We play games when we're tilted, and sometimes the worst side effect of tilting is going into a match or is queuing up for the next match and getting involved in the next match just because you want to. The same reason that when you get tilted in poker from that bad beat, you play the fucking next hand. You go in on the next hand almost no matter what gets dealt to you. With poker, yeah, you get the same thing, and people get tilted in Dota, and you see the strangest behaviors pop up. Where sometimes I've been tilted, and have you ever done this? Have you ever been tilted because of a game that you lost and first picked the hero that you lost with because you knew you fucking should have won with that hero, and that you could do what you're supposed to be able to do on that hero. So you pick that hero the very very first pick the next fucking game.
Yeah, I don't have 100% win rate on Viper, so. Yeah. I mean, obviously.
but I mean, but because of the tilt of the last game,
mm-hmm.
and not so much because that hero was the best hero to pick at that time.
Idea.
I mean, Viper's not a great example
because I just know that like even in a lost game, it's like, well, no, I went mid against Necro, and he is a stupid hero. Like, really, like I want old Ember back, almost, dude. Because it's like, okay, tangent.
Okay.
Noted that I'm
anyway,
tangentializing.
Yeah.
I feel like old Ember and new Ember are very similar. Old Ember wouldn't let you buy back, right? But he still had a pretty sizable cooldown.
No, you mean old Necro?
Or old Necro, sorry.
Yeah.
Ember sucks too.
Yeah.
Old Necro, you're out for a long time and you can't buy back. New Necro, you're out. You buy back. He has Reaper Scythe again and you're out. Now you can't buy back because you did just buy back.
Well, or even worse, you're out for a bazillion goddamn minutes because
you have the Necro bonus plus the buyback bonus of time.
Right, which your previous buyback bonus was also impacted by the Necro bonus.
Yes.
So you've now added 2 Necro bonuses worth of time, a time and a half of Necro bonuses to your current buyback.
So basically at level 1, so if you're going to ascribe like gold to skills, I'm gonna say that Necro has like 1,400 gold right at level 1 if he Qs W. He has a Ghost Scepter at level 1 that heals everybody around him and heals himself. Fucking bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give him another 1,700 gold for his Q because that's like a perseverance, if not better, because he hits that Q and he kills something, and Sadist is now just rolled into Death Pulse.
Yeah.
And that dude now has 3,100 gold to start with. And then he has E, which is Heartstopper Aura, which is like, we'll call it like a fourth of a Radiance. We know that Radiance is about 6,000 gold. So we'll say that's like 1,500 gold. This dude, like, if I'm ascribing talents to gold, at level 3, he has like 6,000 gold worth of items. I hate that hero. I really do.
Yeah, I know. He's got a ridiculous win rate.
Right? A ridiculous win rate. Not super skillful. What you see out of Ember, when I think of garbage, just the same. Like I just put it all together. When I think of Necro, I think of brown boots, Dagon, Aghs, and that's all I think of. And it's like, how boring. I know last week I was harping on Ember. He well deserved.
I don't get Aghs until after Greaves these days.
Good, and that's a good thing. And
I feel like I have a better success rate. Not,
but
I
know
get
it's
why
every
people
25 seconds that he can do Reprecise. But when you're Reprecise, you're like, good, I'm full health, and then he's like, nope, Dagon, and you're like, oh no, I'm dead. Okay, good. Good thing I've got a buyback. I'm gonna go fight him again. Oh, I'm a right clicker, and he just put on his Ghost Scepter, and he's healing throughout. That's fine. Oh, his Dagon's back up, and I'm fucking dead
your
again.
trick is if you're having an issue there, what I've been trying to do is
him?
No, I've been trying to get people who it makes sense on to build Dagons themselves, because he also takes more magic damage.
It's like a Ghost Scepter.
Or if I see a Necro up there, I've been trying to consider picks that have a high amount of magic damage that would still be able to target him while he's in that.
Yeah, you'd think Viper could win against Necro, but he has just so much sustain.
Actually, oh wow, Necro's win rate is 60.33% right now at less than 2K.
It's too much. Well, and you'll probably see it fall
at 2 to 3, 57 at 3 to 4.
Yeah, you'll see it fall
55 at 4 to 5.
You can stop it. People build Lincoln Spheres.
He's still over 50 all the way across the board.
Reaper's Scythe is a dumb talent, is what I've realized, or is a dumb skill. It just is. Adding bonus death time is just dumb.
I feel like there are people out there who are yelling at their podcast devices. No, but
they play Necro.
Not just them though. I mean, there are those who like you're saying. Fuck you, Roland.
you play
awesome.
Necro. Yeah, you.
There are also people out there who are yelling at their podcast devices right now because they're like, "Hey, we know." We've been hearing this for a while. I mean, even on this show, we've talked about
it's been the bane of my climb, and not bane. But
why don't you just pick him?
No, because I don't find it fun to walk up to a lane, Q, walk back. Oh, I'm getting attacked. W.
I think you would.
No, I would rather.
I challenge you to play 5 games of Necro in a row.
Won't happen. I play Viper. I'm a Viper player.
The other brand of cancer.
Yeah, I go for literal, like at least like it's like talking shit behind your back or talking shit to somebody's face. Like Viper at least talks shit to your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Necro talks shit behind your back, dude. Especially Blink Dagger Necro, where he just pops in and they're just like dead. I hate it. He has definitely made me question the balance of the game recently. When you see a Necro mid and I'm like, I'm Viper, like I'm a lane dominator. I'm just gonna get like 2 points in Q, 4 points in W, and just blow him up. And it's like, wait, I can't kill him fast enough because he keeps healing, and then he puts his his W on, and then all of a sudden Heartstopper Aura has me at half health and I'm out of regen. Oh, I'm Reaper.
I mean, Heartstopper doesn't work that fast. I think people give. I used to be the same way. I used to give Heartstopper.
It does.
It's annoying, and and definitely it's a consistent damage. Probably the worst. I mean, and yes, it
before mech, it makes a huge difference.
Heartstopper is at its most potent and most annoying during the laning phase.
Yeah,
for sure. Because that's pretty much where. After that, it's not like Heartstopper.
No, I'm not saying Heartstopper at level 25 is a killer. I'm saying I'm supposed to win the lane. I'm a Viper.
Yeah.
And Heartstopper is stopping me from doing that. Because with Viper, like, what happens when you go to kill somebody? You're chasing them down with Q, and you get him, right? Necro just stands there. And he Ghost Scepters himself, hits you with a nuke that heals him and hurts you. All the while you've been Heartstoppered. And you can't do shit to him. Like, I don't know what the matchup is. I'd love to see the matchup, but I feel like he is how you beat Viper mid. If you see a Viper and you don't know how to beat Viper mid, pick Necro. Don't play stupid. Still play safe, but you'll win eventually.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what type of damage Heartstopper was.
It's pure, isn't it? It's a percentage pure. Hold on, I can find out.
Yeah, I would love to know. To see if
I'll go to my lost match here against the Necro mid.
I just want to. The only reason I want to know is because I'd love to know if Corrosive Skin really isn't protecting you all that much from it.
Pierces spell immunity. It doesn't say. It says aura passive.
You might have to check it out on a wiki. Because let's see. So corrosive.
Oh, it's magical. Oh no, wait, no. I don't know that. It's just a health decay. Oh, this is. If you listen to Proudland, you would know what type of damage this is. This is called. God, I forget what it's called. It's called like a health displacement. This is not a. This is a different type of damage. From magical, from physical, from anything. This is what's called like a health displacement. It just does a health decay. It doesn't. You don't take it in magical form. You don't take it in a physical form. You don't take it in a pure. It's basically a pure form because you're just taking 0.6% per however long. This is just and it pierces spell immunity. So I'm losing 6% of whatever I'm at. Or 0.6% of whatever I'm at. Anyway, it definitely wears on you. Like as Viper, I rely on being at like 3/4 health, going to kill somebody, getting down to like half health to a third of health, going to a shrine, healing up, and that's how I win my lane. But with Necro, it just doesn't work that way.
All right, let's see. I'm on the wiki here.
It's a weird type of damage. It's not magical nor physical nor pure. It's called like health displacement or some weird shit.
Heartstopper aura does not manipulate enemies' health regeneration. It deals pure damage, which is flagged as HP removal.
HP removal. That's what it's called. It's a weird type of damage.
Let's see.
There's other abilities like Bloodseeker's HP removal.
HP removal. So spells flagged as HP removal fully ignore any form of damage manipulation, with a few exceptions listed below. Means they cannot be amplified, reduced, or blocked except by magic resistance in case of magical damage and armor in case of physical damage.
But this is
They also ignore and do not trigger any on-damage effects, making them unable to cancel consumables.
This is pure pierces spell immunity. So even with BKB, there's no way to enhance it, but you're always going to take the damage from it.
Dealing current max health damage.
So like, another HP removal would be Armlet. Armlet, it cannot be modified, basically. Armlet is what's considered an HP removal. I think Rupture is considered an HP removal. There's quite a few on there that are considered HP removals, and they're usually the percentage-based things.
Affected enemy units only have visible status.
If you're trying to make sense of it, dude, it's tough, and there's a whole show on it if you just go and listen
No, yeah, I was curious because if it is pure damage...
usually pure damage is blocked by BKB. With this is an exception though, because it pierces spell immunity.
Yeah, it does pure spell immunity. I know that, but I meant if it deals pure damage,
pure damage can't be amplified.
But pure damage is magical damage, right?
No, pure damage is a form of physical damage.
Form of physical damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 5 types of physical damage, and then there's magical damage.
God damn.
This game is completely complex.
All right, that's it. We quit. Show's over, folks.
No, that's how I feel. So basically, I'm just sitting there taking damage, and he's not scared of me because he has Ghost Shroud, which, by the way, does not have a long enough cooldown.
Theoretically, affected units die, and I guess you could make this calculation because it's all percentage-based. If you stand in range for 167 seconds at level 1, 100 seconds at level 2, 72 at level 3, and 56 at level 4.
So 170 seconds is 3 minutes. That's laning phase.
Yeah.
So that means I need to go hit a well just from Heartstopper Aura.
Yeah.
And I only have 2 of them. And I have 4 tangos.
Well, and by the time, I mean, God, how fast can you hit level 6? You know what I mean? Like,
well,
by the time you are
he's getting a lot of experience.
Yeah,
but he's probably putting it most in Q. He's probably doing like a 3-1-1-1.
Well,
or
but
something
who cares,
like that.
right? I mean, that is the beauty of Necro. Is like I will say, I feel like every time I play Necro, no matter what lane I'm in, courtesy Heartstopper and a little bit of harass, by the time I get my Reaper Scythe up, I can usually make one aggressive push in, get a little bit of damage with a little right click, and end with the Reapers and get my first kill.
Yep, one of those that we can just go ahead and delete from the hero list. Yeah, once again, Gabe could give me that hammer on banning people permanently and getting rid of heroes permanently.
There'd only be one spirit in the game.
No, Earth Spirit's fine.
Yeah.
Earth Spirit takes enough skill. And I actually played Magic Ember last night with Captain Silver Fox. I lost with it. We lost hard with it. It's harder than some heroes. I'll say. I still
Are you reneging on the Ember Spirit?
no. I went. This is Andrew said it was really fun to do. So I went bottle, wand, veil, travels, radiance, octarine.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got all that, and
What a dick.
I did really. I was 10-9 in a losing game.
Wow.
And did the most damage on the team. Like, did 30,000 damage. The next closest was 16,000 damage from our Huskar. So, like, I contributed a good amount. And I had the highest net worth of anybody on my team by far. Anyway,
speaking of...
it's an easy hero. I mean, for the most part, if you have the right matchup.
Speaking of games where you felt like a mad composer, I had one of those the other night as Bloodseeker.
I watched it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, good game.
That was a great game. Is he a garbage hero still?
No.
No? I think he requires a little bit of...
Well, he requires... He also requires proper skilling, too. Like, some heroes, like Necrophos, it's obvious that you're like, I'm going to do a 4-1-1 ult, you know? Like, 4-1-1, get my ult. And then next thing is probably going to be Ghost Shroud, because you want to get the cooldown down. And then next thing is Heartstopper because you can't go stats. And yeah, Heartstopper doesn't really matter much later because it doesn't affect regen.
Right.
And once I get mech on Viper, it doesn't matter anymore. But by that point, I'm dealing with Dagon.
Well, by that point, you've kind of lost the lane,
Yeah.
and now that Necro's an item ahead, or got an equivalent item to you, or has that Dagon, and fuck your mech.
Yeah. That Aghs did more damage than you, by the way, in your game.
Yeah, because he charged in to die.
And that Wraith
over
King
and
only
over
did
and over.
6,000 damage in that game.
Hey, no. I was playing that one with Grandma Ralph.
She did 3.6 heal though.
Yeah,
from Vampire Car.
I don't make fun of her. She'll listen to the show, or somebody will tell her I'll get in trouble. No, she was having a tough game. She was really depressed after that game.
I know, and I gave her a heads up, soldier.
Yeah,
you can even find it on Twitch.
That's right. Which was really shitty because like that game for me was like, I felt like a god. Like I was going through and doing my damnedest to make sure that we.
You got a halberd early, which was cool for
troll. I was like, because I was not gonna not be out. And I saw the troll. I knew I assessed. The only reason I went that halberd first was because I knew the troll was bad.
I think he can still bash you even if he's halberded.
Not if he can't.
Oh, he's completely disarmed. Never
Yeah.
mind. Sorry, he can't even attack at all.
Yeah.
It's not like blinding light. I was thinking it was like blinding light where he'd miss, but he's still attacking.
I knew the troll was bad. At first, I was worried because I was having a hard time mid versus the. I ended up going mid. That guy last picked Aghs, and he did all right. He was kind of a douche. I won't lie.
His name's legit.
Yeah,
so.
and he was like, "This is what it's like in Trump's America. We're gonna give it to him, big dick style, big dick style." That's what he kept shouting on the fucking through the fucking mic. But he was actually like, and at one point, like, but he was such an enigma to me because at the same time he was really trying to coordinate with the team and really trying to keep people's like morale up, but it was just fucking obnoxious. And then at one point I was like, hey, I got a little bossy towards the end because like I was clearly
did you know?
I was clearly the one who was going to take us to victory in that game. And I was like, you got to stop going up there and just feeding yourself to them over and over, trying to take that tier 2 tower. Just chill the fuck out. You guys defend. I'll split push. I've got BOTs. I'll get back to you. Chill out. Stop doing it. He went up and did it one more time. He's like, all right, you were right.
Big dick style.
It's like, I was just trying to give it. Yeah, I think he did follow up with, I was just trying to give it to him big dick style. It's like, yeah, we're not big dicking anymore. We're trying to win the game.
You guys were losing by 7,000. At one point.
Yeah, no, so I assessed that troll was really bad just from watching how he was moving around, and I was like, I could man fight this troll based off of how bad he is. If I could disarm him and he couldn't get the fight going, I could man fight him and get him down and kill him, I thought. But I was having a hard time, so I ended up going mid that game because he last picked an Aghs when we needed a mid. I was supposed to be going safe lane with fucking Bloodseeker and Rin on a support, and then the two dudes that were the two randos in the match besides the Aghs both picked up a support, and I was like, well, all right, Rin, you're gonna have to play some form of a carry. I was like, pick Wraith King and you can go off lane with him. I was like, okay, all right, well, that's what we'll do. Wraith King's not bad in the off lane. She'll give the vampiric aura to him. Maybe she gets a little bit of farm. Maybe she doesn't. It's going to be all right. So I'm going to go safe lane. And then the guy last picks Aghs, and he's like, so who's going mid? And I'm like, you were supposed to, dipshit. Jesus. I didn't say it, of course. But he's like, I think Bloodseeker should go mid. And I was like, fuck it. I'll go mid. So I go mid versus that Wind Ranger, which was misery for the first 6 levels. And then I realized, oh shit, this Wind Ranger's bad too, because I would rupture her, and her panic instinct every time I ruptured her,
or not Windwalk,
was Windwalk, and she would just start running. I was like, "You're killing yourself faster, you idiot!" And then she would book it, and then realize that she had made a mistake because she had panicked, and then I just run up and finish her off.
Bloodseeker was nominated for banning in this game.
Yeah, I know.
But Monkey King and Spirit Breaker got banned instead. Good.
Yeah.
Ban the Dumb King.
Yeah, I ban Monkey King every time.
Yeah, me too. I know exactly where to, like, on my screen right now, like, I'm not even in Dota, but I know that is roughly
right.
where Monkey King is, and to click him and ban.
Yeah, dude, fuck that hero.
I'm
so tired of him. Yeah. I'm so tired of him.
I will say that quality of hero has gone down. Like,
yeah,
every hero that they've added is not a good hero.
Every hero,
Underlord's a good hero.
I think a lot of people would argue with you that Underlord's a shit hero.
Think of the heroes they've added since we've started playing.
Techies.
Right.
Techies is a shit hero.
Wyvern.
I like Wyvern.
So Techies, Wyvern, Oracle.
And I'm all right with.
Oracle has the worst win rate in the game right now.
Yeah.
Well,
that's because Oracle got nerfed.
Techies, Arc Warden.
Arc Warden's obnoxious as shit.
Kind of a dumb hero.
So I like Wyvern. I'll live with Techies. I definitely hate Arc Warden. I'm not a fan of Underlord, largely because I don't think I ever see him played properly.
Who else do we have? And then I guess Monkey King.
Is that all that's been added since we started playing?
I think so.
Oh, and Oracle. Yeah,
I said Oracle.
Yeah.
Worst win rate in the game.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
The Spirits got added shortly before we started playing.
Okay.
I think those were the most recent before we started playing to get added. Were the Spirits.
Yeah, I don't know. I would actually love to see a list of.
I would
if
say
somebody's out there, shoot me a tweet at DotP_Cyphus if you can.
I would love to see the list like chronologically of what's been added.
Who was available?
So Puppy in an interview, and say what you will about Puppy. I know people like hate him because he threw headphones at a monitor. I've seen people in my life do much worse than that.
Yep.
And I've been mad too, and I broke one of my really nice.
You told the table story on this show.
Oh, I did.
Way back when.
Okay.
In fact, Andrew was on it and had to tell the story. Had to participate in the telling of the story.
Oh yeah.
Way early in our podcast.
I had a glass desk that I was in my room. He was in his room. We were living. He was my roommate. We had a house. And
didn't you like cannon rush him in StarCraft 2?
No, this was a legit game. This is the time that I had to put the chair in between me and him, and he scratched my wrist, and it made it look exactly like I tried to kill myself. And the way he scratched my wrist, it sucked. I had to go. It was summer, and I had to go around explaining it was like with the vein, not against the vein. Uh-huh. It was like a legit wanting to kill yourself.
Not a cry for attention.
Not a cry for attention. Yeah. Not to say that people that go against the vein.
That's just the old ad. It's just a cliched
and it literally Audrey was like, "Why'd you cut yourself?" And I was like, "He scratched me, and it looks exactly. I'm not depressed. I promise I'd tell you. The signs are all there. No, they're not. This was a legit Terran versus Terran game, and these.
Oh, okay.
So in StarCraft, these were your longer games. These were and he was a Terran player, and I was a random player. Mm-hmm. So to get beat by his own race when that's all he plays, and I play all of them, really frustrated him. And it was right when. So I had my siege tanks in a position that he couldn't see. They were in fog, and he moved his whole army, and it just got obliterated in a second. And that's what happens in TVT. It was really volatile. You make one mistake, you lose.
Yeah.
And he made just an abysmal mistake, and all I hear in the other room is, and his whole computer. He had the tower up on top of the desk. He had his monitor on the desk. Everything fell through, and there was glass everywhere.
What did he throw?
No, he slammed the mouse down so hard it broke the glass. He went bam on his mouse, and he still had a mouse pad.
Yeah,
and it just through, and everything fell through.
That's why you don't have glass computer tables.
I got mad because it was my desk, and I was like, really? It's just a fucking game. and pulled that card.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he broke the desk. Anyway, say what you will about Puppy. Puppy was doing an I'm trying to remember where I was. Jesus, because that was a traumatic.
Yeah, sorry.
I was so mad.
Trash Heroes. Chronological
Oh yeah,
order
Puppy
of Heroes.
was in an interview. This was like I think in Southeast Asia. It was somebody giving him an interview, and they were talking specifically about Earth Spirit being added to Captain's Mode. Which when that happened, I've probably been a year, maybe more. And he's like, traditionally when I think of Dota, I think of Wraith King or Sven. Like they throw a stun, they can do this. But Earth Spirit is like blue and like and the da. And is like basically he didn't say dumb, but it's like it's hard for me to kind of grasp this hero because he doesn't feel like Dota to me.
Yeah.
And then you like talk about Arc Warden. You know what I mean? Like, does that feel like Dota? No.
Oh yeah.
And now Monkey King.
Yeah.
Like
the tree hopping. It's so dumb.
It
so
really
dumb, dude.
has made me just question, like, really? Like, we can't, like, you don't need to add new heroes. I don't need a new hero.
So
I don't need this guy.
It's funny.
I would still play your game without him, and I'd still love your game. I don't need Monkey King in the game.
But some players do.
And can we just add, like, not Monkey King? Can we just go ahead and just say, sorry guys, we made a mistake? Can we just own up to our mistakes and just take him out and make a new hero now?
I don't think you can ever backtrack. You can maybe rework, but you can never backtrack a hero for sure.
Well, Techie's had to get reworked twice before he was stupid. So, no, Techie's is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's so the silence actually makes sense in theory from his suicide, his newest suicide. It's not actually a suicide. It's called Blast Off, right? Because, like, I think of, like, ears ringing from a bomb, like all those war movies that you've seen. Where it's
and in D&D, if you were deafened in D&D, there was a 20% spell failure chance. So that's how I always justified it.
So, like, as far as, like, things that make sense or don't make sense, I'll go ahead and take that one.
No, so of the heroes that you have
Audrey's
recently...
calling me. I'm going to answer on air. Can I do that?
Sure. I mean, I think she's going to be mad at
you.
you.
She is going to be.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, we're still recording. I just wanted to answer on air and tell you that I love you. Well, I'm going to go to Del Taco and get tacos for us. Okay, I have freaking Puppy Baby all day, Josh. I know. I'm sorry, babe. I'm almost done.
Okay, I've got to go.
Okay, I love you. I thought I'd give you guys a little insight into my life.
How it's going around here at Casa de Roland. Of the heroes you've been talking about lately, though, that have been garbage, or that you've proclaimed to be garbage, like the Ember Spirit
How long
thing,
have I been out here?
We did a meeting with Ursi and Proud before
Okay,
this,
it's about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half to how far into the show are we?
Probably pretty far. Like I can't escape.
How far into the show are we?
42 minutes.
42 minutes.
So
okay.
we got like 18 minutes. And
So,
she is
yeah,
hankering
it's
for
been
a
an hour and a
taco. Me too. Matter of fact, it's on my mind.
Well, I'm worried about driving home in snowpocalypse.
So maybe we could cut this one a little short for tacos.
Yeah.
You just heard my wife. She's mad. And I heard the baby in the background too. He's crying.
But of the heroes you lately have been mentioning as being garbage that you hate in the game, like they to me are the least, and I mean, maybe it's just that I haven't. I've experienced the Magic Ember with you a couple of times and without you a couple of times, and it's definitely annoying. It's bothersome, but I don't think it doesn't feel. It feels overpowered for a short time, and then it stops being overpowered.
Yeah, you can overcome it.
You can't overcome it.
The thing is, though, if you don't go to the doctor and have him check your colon, it's gonna spread quickly. Like that's basically how it is.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like you need to go in once a year and have that checked, or else it's gonna get bad.
The heroes, I mean, the truly annoying. I feel like every time we get a minor annoyance like this, we just, as a community, we completely forget all the other annoying shit. Like, for instance, that fucking Underlord has the ability to, through piercing BKB, root us. You know what I mean?
That's okay. I like that. I'm fine with that. Do we want to go back to searing, or not searing, go back to the dumb thing of the game, which was, what was it, that holds you in place forever that we were talking about last week, that only Ember can get out of?
Root mechanics. Root.
Yeah. But specifically, was it Atos that we were talking about? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, with Atos. Yeah.
That Ember is the only one that can get away from Atos?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of shit's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. But
or Aghs on Anti-Mage?
Aghs on Anti-Mage,
hate
I
that.
like. I like because one, I don't think it's.
You know what I did?
so
I wanted
rarely-
to Atos him so bad as Viper. I Viper striked him and then Atos him and then thought, well, that was fucking dumb. Like, now I'm Viper striked, but he can't move, but I'm dead. Like, so stupid.
God.
I was like, I need to break his Aghs. Viper strike.
No, what's been most... I'll be
So
honest,
dumb.
I kind of have enjoyed the Anti-Mage Aghs edition because it's so funny to hear players come up with the most ridiculous theories about how Aghs is going to save the game with AM.
Yeah.
Because,
good, dude. It's
but
way good.
but it is good. But it's good against very particular things.
Yeah.
It's not all like I think way too often we get hung up on. You get hung up on the thing that you feel like is stopping you the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get hung up on that Reaper Scythe. But if Reaper Scythe is one targetable ability, if you've got a team that has 5 heroes that each have 1 to 2 single target abilities, you're probably fucked. Regardless of what, because by the time Reaper Scythe comes out, all the other single target abilities are what have been targeting you and coming at you to begin with.
Oh, the CC.
Yeah, by the time that happens, by the time that Reaper Scythe, and you need that Reaper Scythe to get blocked, by the time you need that Rupture to get blocked, it's probably
depends.
already gone.
And it's useless against Duel. It's useless against.
Oh, dude, I've seen so many AMs
Sunder.
pick that up against Duel, and it's like, please think it
it's
through.
like, no. Yeah, Proud put it best. He's like, at least you're doing it out of your, like you're choosing. You're choosing the duel.
I chose this duel.
Yeah, not you, Legion. It was me that chose the duel, okay? So if you win, it was me. Anyway, I'm sorry. I have to go. It's taco time.
All right, I'm going to do
It's
the plugs.
taco time. I'm grumbling for a taco,
I'm going to do the
dude.
plugs real quick. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, we're at .p_show. Find us on iTunes. Leave us a review. I think we've got... Oh, there's one email review. Matt V.
I read.
Oh, you did
I
read
read
it?
me and Prouds.
Oh, okay.
On Proud.
Oh,
because
we should read the rest.
Well, when you're on Wednesday, read yours. Or on.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
It was like beyond nice, and we were floored. And
Yeah,
we told him,
really
and now
nice.
he's joined the Discord and everything.
Oh, yeah. So, Matt, if you're out there listening, thank you for that review. It was really kind. I will get to it, and we'll read it here on the Monday show at some point in its entirety. Maybe go pop it on iTunes.
The reason I didn't want to read it was because it feels self-aggrandizing.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what I told Proud. He's like, no, go ahead and read it. I was like, no, this one's like really,
It's too nice.
really
Yeah,
nice.
it is too nice.
Like, it's like I couldn't have written a better review about myself if I wanted to write a good review
if I
about
was
myself.
trying to stroke my own ego and write a review.
Yeah, I couldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, it was like too nice. So.
But yeah, so when you guys do have reviews, log into iTunes, leave those reviews there. It helps us with the iTunes
I'm a
visibility.
grumbling, dude.
I mean, I'm doing the
it's
plugs. It's the end of the
bad.
show.
My wife's calling me, dude.
She can wait until I made her wait.
No, that was like I feel bad. I've been
Yeah,
out
I
here
know, I
like
did
2
too.
hours almost.
So tomorrow, Tuesday, we do the .p Q&A. If you've got questions, please email us your questions to defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. Of course, you can email us about anything there, like Matt did with his review. Email us at defenseofthepatients.com. Send us your questions for the Tuesday Q&A show. We will read those live on the air. We are also broadcasting that show live at 9 Eastern tomorrow night. That's 6 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/.ptv, where you can see all of our regular streaming content throughout the week. We're going to be adding a new regular stream. I haven't gotten back word from the guy we hit up, our fifth, but we're going to be doing a little .p show host team. So it'll be me, Roland, Ursi, and Proud, and a fifth, I believe, who you all know. That especially, I'm not going to hint at it anymore because I want to make sure that he's available before I commit him on air. So every Sunday at 5 Eastern,
Yes.
we're going to be doing it. So Sundays, 5 Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, you can tune in and see the show hosts all play games together, and me and
Captain's
Roland.
mode. It's going to be the .p team.
Okay, we're not going to compete.
We're not going to compete immediately because of conflicting schedules, but we will compete
or
eventually.
Maybe ever.
No, we will.
Or maybe ever, folks.
Remember when I
Probably
said
never.
I was going to put a caveat and say that
yeah.
we might compete
But
at
we'll
some
never
point?
do it. We will never,
No, Proud
never
Nurse
do it.
here way
Not
too
once.
embarrassed to play a real competitive
yeah.
game
with us.
with you.
With Scrublets.
It's not with us. I think
please.
it's just with you.
I just represent the casual man out there. All right. That's
Well,
what, I'm
because
a man
you've
of the
got
people.
yeah, because
Yeah.
to make it full circle. Because hands on.
Also on
bottle and stick.
twitch.tv/.ptv, you can find the Wednesday in houses every Wednesday night. We will be doing those again with Mr. Groody himself.
With Grumbo.
Grumbo.
Yeah.
That was the latest.
Grootster.
Grootster. So tune in for those. At the end of every season, we do $150 worth of Steam gift cards.
And then
giveaways.
Grouty pulls out his American Express gold card and gives out Arcanas.
Gives out some Arcanas and shows us all up because he's a cool guy. And I love Grouty.
Yeah, I like Grouty. I love Grouty.
We all love Grouty. All right. We also love Jay Gucci, who runs our subreddit.
Everybody loves Grouty.
That's our defense of the patience. The Tuesday Q&A, join the Discord. That's discord.gg/.p, where you can ask your question live on the show. Like I said, we broadcast those on Twitch, and we always need more live callers. We would love to have more of you guys hopping on there and asking your questions yourselves, and allowing Roland to ask you whatever ridiculous follow-up question he thinks the situation warrants.
Did that happen last week?
That's what you always do. You're always like, so what do you think about what are you gonna do? Do you have an idea in mind? What are you playing?
I was actually complimented on that last show.
It was a good show.
People said
no, I'm just giving you shit. That's a great show. I love that show.
I'm glad I came up with that brilliant idea to do that show.
Yes.
I'm glad
idea. Someone here at DotP came up with that brilliant idea.
I was like, we should do a live call-in show. And it was like, and everyone was like, no, that's a terrible idea. And I was like, no, I am all for it. It should be a live call-in show, and it should go exactly as Tuesday Q&A goes.
That's exactly how it went down.
I'll take all the credit.
That's exactly how it went down. All right. I think that's it, guys. I'm sure I've missed something. You can also find us on Facebook. And, Patreon.
Give us money. The thing that money does is it helps us do this like we do already.
That was
so maybe
the most inspiring pitch for Patreon.
So here's the thing, like this is going to happen regardless of your donation. We're going to continue to do 5 shows a week. But if you donate, we'll definitely do 5 shows a week. And we're like very close to doing 2 Patreon exclusives per month.
Those are going to happen. I'm
when the 250 hits, when the 250 hits, you'll get 2 and only patrons will be able to listen to us talk about how great you are for donating. So please go ahead.
I don't know who the show hosts are going to be. We're going to try to put those together. I want to do a test.
Why not just get Kroger brand? You know what I mean? When you go to the grocery store, that could go to .p. Why do you have to get the bags of cereal instead of the boxes of cereal?
That's right, because everybody knows the bags are cheaper and they taste the same.
Yeah, they're the exact same cereals. It's a great way.
Get Fruitios instead of Fruit Loops.
Yeah, right? Exactly. It's a great way to
get Dinosaur Pebbles instead of Fruity Pebbles.
It's a great way to give us money by saving on whatever it is that you do.
I gave into the weirdest impulse a couple of weeks ago where I bought Fruity Pebbles because I
fucking love Fruity Pebbles.
I loved Fruity Pebbles as a kid too.
Are they as good as you thought?
They were terrible.
Really?
I was ready to vomit by the end of the bowl.
It's just too sugary?
It's so I mean, I don't know what changed. I'm sure as a kid I was all about it.
It hasn't changed.
Oh, man.
Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles?
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles. Yeah. Dude, that's where it was at. Because I remember I had a friend that was like, I'm going to create a business where I'm just going to take the milk from Cocoa Pebbles. I'm just going to put Cocoa Pebbles and let it soak in the milk and then just sell that milk because that milk is gold, dog. And I was like, it is. That's a great idea.
Maybe I should have gone with the cocoa. Maybe I would have enjoyed
Fruity.
The Fruity
were my favorite, though.
Sweet, though.
Fruity were my favorite.
It was too sweet. The first 2 bites were like, oh, yeah, I remember loving
And then the roof of your mouth is like bleeding. And you're like, yeah.
And way too sugary.
Okay, my wife, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that baby you got in there. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
And Charles. I'm coming, Charles.
They killed them, Charles.
I played with a guy named Charlie, and it was
I was in that game.
I know. And I was like, oof. And I just muted him.
Yeah, he was kind of a doucher.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland, for Roland's missus and the baby.
Charles.
Saying good luck.